Let's take a look at researching your neighborhood using ReferenceUSA, available through Omaha Public Library. As with all of our database subscriptions, the search will begin from our webpage at omahalibrary.org in our Resource Center. Under the category Business and Finance, select ReferenceUSA and click Search. Outside the library, you'll be prompted for the 14 digits of your library card number and your 4-digit PIN. ReferenceUSA is maintained by the company Info Group. It's a great resource, a public library piece of a much larger database of company and consumer information. But even our subscription will give you access to some really great stuff. We're going to look first at new movers and homeowners, a great way to keep track of who's coming into your neighborhood, target mailings for new member newsletters, and get to know the incoming neighbors. We're going to start with the custom search, which allows us to narrow down this record of about 15 million new movers by all sorts of criteria. We're going to look first at geography, as it's most to the point. Here under our neighborhoods, we will select our state and metro area, and then have a long list of neighborhoods in Omaha and Council Bluffs. We'll add our search limiter here, and then update our count. Already we're down to about 160 records of new moves. Pretty easy to work with. If we so chose, we could also factor in all kinds of other criteria, like the housing type, if it's a rental or a purchase. But we'll just take a look at the results as we get them. Now, these records tend to fill in quickly as all of us engage in the kinds of activities that get us on the radars of our credit card companies or of our catalog vendors. Be careful about using this information. I mean, obviously, it's fairly personal and fairly private. You may be a little creeped out by seeing it in the first place, but these are the things that consumer information is drawn from. But we've got addresses, we've got names. Each individual record will have a little bit more about the new resident and the nature of the house and the house purchase. But let's take a quick look at this heat map function. I really like the way this allows us to take those records and visualize where in the neighborhood that this activity is happening, these changes are taking place. Now, as you can see, a lot of turnover in Joslyn Castle and pretty well distributed, but we do have little cores of more movers. But we can also switch the parameters of this heat map to things like the price for which the home sold or the estimated household income of the new movers. Now, we can grab these records to download or print them. They can be downloaded into Excel or comma-separated variable formats. And we can always pop back to start over a new search. We can also, above and beyond the new movers, we can use a similar search to run down all kinds of folks in our neighborhood. So if you're working on a neighborhood directory or trying to get a very complete picture of what's going on in your community, this might be an easy way to do it. We can grab multiple pages of records, up to about 500 per search lately. So for larger searches, you may need to run the same parameters several times, but it's easy to do. And after all the costs are covered by your Omaha Public Library membership. Now, beyond the consumer side, let's also see what businesses might be active in and around your neighborhood. We can stick with that same neighborhood search one of my favorites. Or I also really like the heat map function with these businesses. Kind of show where the commercial districts in your neighborhood are. In this case, no great surprise, following Saddle Creek and Dodge quite closely, but with that little clutch around Cali. Instead of that neighborhood search, we could also try searches by radius around a fixed address, or other geographic categories like zip code. You can also search by business type, and apply multiple different searches to continue to narrow down that list. So, I don't want this to run much more than 5 minutes, so that's the ReferenceUSA searches available through your Omaha Public Library subscription. Great way to find out who's living in your neighborhood, what's going on. Always feel free to give us a call, 444-4800, or contact Mark Sorensen at the W. Clark Library downtown for more information. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your questions.